Valerie. How are you
Hi.
today?
Good. How are you?
Okay, it's nice to finally be able to meet you.
You too.
Yeah, we've talked several times over the phone and through email, but it's good to be able to put a face with that voice that I've been hearing so many times.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so how was your drive over here today?
It was pretty good. Well, no, I caught a lot of traffic.
Okay, yeah, that's usually the case at this time of day. Yeah, a lot of clients come in and they hustling and buckling because they've run into traffic, but we hope that you're a little bit more relaxed now and that we can go out and find a little bit more about you and what your concerns are today.
Okay.
Yeah, through email, I sent you a link for an assessment. We talked about some things that you were concerned about as it relates to your career, and I sent you an assessment to take. And I did get those results back. I see that you emailed me those results back. And also you did an intake form, and I was able to kind of briefly browse through your information, try to see, find out a little bit more about who Valerie is. And I'd like to talk a little bit about that. But before we talk about that, I'd like to just briefly go over some of the guidelines that we follow here in our clinic.
Okay.
And to get a few forms signed. So the first form that I'm going to give you, it's my professional disclosure statement. And what that is a statement that kind of tells you about the theory that I practice and that what I believe in, and it's called the cognitive behavior theory. And just to give you a brief synopsis of what the cognitive behavior theory states, it states that we believe that people's thoughts and behaviors are kind of a result of their experiences that they had in life, and what we hope to do is kind of try to find a way to reverse those negative cognitive distortions that patients might have, and try to see if we can bring out some positive and try to change those behaviors that clients wanted to get rid of.
Okay.
And so we go through a series of techniques, homework assignments, and different things to try to help their client to walk through and process some of those things that they'd like to change about themselves.
Okay.
Also in this professional disclosure statement, you'll find some of the guidelines for the clinic, and it kind of briefly, you can take some time to browse through it, but I'm going to give you that so you can take it home. It talks about the counselor's relationship and what would happen in these sessions that we have. Each session is about 50 minutes long, and you will schedule a weekly appointment or bi-weekly, whichever works best for you. And you'll call into the clinic, you'll schedule your appointment, and we'll meet according to the schedule that you're prepared. You provide for us. I also want to let you know that you have rights in this clinic, and actually the sessions that we're having right now are being videotaped, and the purpose of the videotape is just so that we can go through and not to so much look at your issues and your concerns, but to help me be able to refresh my memory about some things that we've covered, as well as to try to become a better client, counselor, and be able to help my client. So there's a form that I'm going to give you in a little bit, just giving consent to video. Also, if for some reason you need to cancel appointments, if you could just call in at least 24 hours ahead and cancel that appointment, so that we can go ahead and offer that slot to another client if there needs be. And this clinic is not 24-hour services, and so I'll also provide you with a list of hotlines in case you encounter some kind of crisis, because sometimes people do. And you can be able to reach out to someone who can offer some support to you.
Oh, good.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
And is that free?
And the hotline services they are free. Yes, they are. And what we discuss in this clinic is strictly confidential. It's between me and you, and there are only maybe a few reasons that I may have to disclose what's happening in our sessions, and those reasons might be if for some reason you threaten a child, adult, or someone who is physically handicapped or something like that, if you cause some type of abuse to them. if the courts might subpoena those records,
Mm.
or for some reason I think that you might be, want to cause some harm to yourself.
Okay.
Then those are the only other reasons, and besides that, what we discuss in here is strictly between us, okay? Before I go a little bit farther with this, there is a place on this consent form.
Okay.
I'd like for you to sign, and just provide me with a name of a person that I can contact, just in case of an emergency, because sometimes we have an emergency, and we'd like to be able to contact someone who you are familiar with.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you so very much for that. And for some reason, you decide that you'd like to terminate and discontinue services at this clinic, it's strictly up to you. If it's okay with you, I would just like you to just give a little forewarning so that we can kind of terminate and on the terms that we're both.
I understand.
Okay. This right here, another form that I have right here is called the HIPAA Privacy Act, and this is just stating what I just told you. What happens in this clinic is strictly between us, and so you can take that home with you as well, and you can read through it and kind of understand what your rights are as a client. Yes. This other form here, I know we have a lot of forms, but that's just some things that we have to go through. This form is a consent form, and this is a form that lets you know that we did go through some of the different things, these different things I did provide you with the HIPAA. I talked to you about confidentiality. I'll let you know that we would have 50-minute sessions, and that these 50-minute sessions are of no charge to you right now, and that in case of a cancellation, you call and then leave a message just in case you need to cancel any appointments. So if you can sign that real quick,
Sure.
please. Okay, thank you so very much. And I just want to be sure there's no other forms that I need to give you, so, yeah. And I think we basically, okay, and yeah, this is that form for video permission. Yeah. And if you have any concerns about that, then we can talk about it. Definitely be able to talk about it and see what other provisions you might be able to make for you. Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Alrighty. Well, going back, those are all the forms for today. But going back to the intake form that you provided with me, I just kind of browsed through it. Can you kind of just give me just a little background information, trying to refresh my memory?
Okay. Background.
Just some of your concerns and the things that you want to bring to and address in the clinic.
Okay. Currently, I'm the community liaison at Conrad High School. I was happy to find a job with DISD. It's hard to get into DISD, and I had actually taken the EC6 exam to be a teacher and didn't pass it, and I actually took it twice. So it was a little discouraging. And then, my husband, I have a good support system at home, and my husband, kind of mentioned to me, why don't you look into graduate school and be a counselor? And that's really what sparked an idea of, why don't I? And even the students at school, I was a higher education advisor before being a community liaison, and the kids would ask me, Miss, you're helping me get into college, how come you don't go back to school? And I didn't know how to answer it, because why don't I? I just didn't know the route to go back to school. I had never taken the GRE. I didn't even know how to sign up for the GRE. The only reason I knew is because I took the EC6 and they offered it there. So that's, now I'm in the graduate program, so now I kind of, feel like I'm headed in the right direction.
Okay.
So that's why I'm here today, because I have some mixed emotions about, being a community liaison right
Okay.
now.
Okay. And so if I can just kind of paraphrase what you're saying, you're saying that you currently work as a community liaison, and I'm not sure exactly what that is. Can you just give me a little bit more
Yeah.
details about what that
That's a
is?
good question. I don't know what it is. Let's see, I do like a lot of the PTA events, parental involvement, and the SBDM, the site-based decision-making meetings. I take charge of that with the principal, also with the community, reaching out to different businesses in the area and trying to see who can offer donations for the school. Also grants. This year I was able to, I received a $5,000 grant for Lowe's Toolbox Kit, and I had never really done any grant writing classes or anything, and so that's something I'm very proud of.
Yes, that was something.
But going back to your question as far as a community liaison, there's a lot of things that I do, and sometimes it can be overwhelming. And that's why I'm here, because I feel like I have a lot of skills to offer that I need to do something more.
Okay. It sounds to me that you're wearing many hats, and that a lot of those hats are leadership role hats. Yes. Yes, and it also, just by looking at the expression on your face, some of those things make you proud.
Thank you.
Okay. But your concern is that you'd like to do some different things and go into some different roles?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're wondering if you're in the right position or if you should move on into something different?
Right.
Okay.
I kind of feel like it's, not fulfilling. Like I'm not fulfilling my goal.
Okay.
I'm helping parents out, and a lot of times I have parents that come to me for advice, or they have issues with their kids, and they're at that adolescent stage. And I have to remind them I'm not a licensed professional counselor, and I always refer them to the Youth and Family Clinic or other resources. And I feel like I could be doing that. And sometimes I find myself counseling them, and I have to kind of refrain from that because I still feel like I need more knowledge,
Okay.
more skills.
Okay. And so it sounds like you want to just make sure that you're qualified in order to serve in a role that you've actually been serving in. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. Yes. Yes. So, because if someone comes to you for advice, and if you're working with students like that, it sounds like you have actually been serving as a counselor, but you just like to be per se qualified in order to do it, to make sure that you're offering the correct advice. Okay. Then.
It's funny that you say that I'm already doing it, because I do have some counselors that come to me and bring me students, because they're too busy, what they call like paper pushing. And I think that's why I'm kind of frowning. I'm not thinking to do the counseling in the education field. I'd rather go the community route and working with adults.
Okay. 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 So wow, that says a whole lot about you. Yes. And so you did say that at home you have a great support system.
Yes.
Okay. And then just going back, just to make sure that I'm covering everything, and you're married.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. And then just actually going through here and just hearing you speak to me, sounds that you work well with others because people are continuously coming to you and seeking advice. Okay, so those are some good qualities, I would say. And you're currently enrolled in a graduate school so that you can pursue some of those dreams that you have.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. You get along well with the people who you're in school with?
Yes, actually, there was an issue where I had a presentation. I was the first to go up, and I covered hauling codes. And there was another student, and she kind of kept, not necessarily interrupting, but she had a lot of questions. And that was my first experience for somebody to, kind of challenge me.
Okay.
And so it was a little scary, and a little scary because she's been in the program a lot longer than I have.
Yes.
So that was a little discouraging, kind of.
And so how did you overcome that?
I went home and talked to my husband, and he's like, babe, I told you were gonna have some people that were gonna, try to discourage you or try to hold you down, but you're better than that. You can do it. And I support you. And so sometimes I kind of need that reassurance.